stage, very special guest, Yoshiki.
Welcome.
So
Hi, how are you?
So Yoshiki snuck in and was in the back watching it the whole time. How many times have you seen the movie now?
Well, this newest cut.
Yeah. We changed it a little bit after some of this.
Actually, first time,
All the way through.
all the way through.
What do you think?
I cried.
Me too.
10 times or more.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with a couple of quick questions and then we're going to throw it out to the crowd. So, I guess, Stephen, I wanted to start with you. When you're, it kind of relates to what I was saying about you finding the spirit of a musician when you're making a film about them. And obviously, ex-Japan have such a strong visual identity and, you know, psychedelic violence, crime, and visual shock. What a gift for a filmmaker. Can you talk about how that influenced your visual style and also maybe the rhythm of the edit and how the film came together?
Psychedelic violence, crime, a visual shock. Yeah, for those that don't know, that was their slogan in the early days. It was like on little stickers and kind of it's on the album cover for Blue Blood. That phrase just became like a stylistic sort of guidepost for us. And I want to give a big hand to Alison Brownmore, who's in the audience, who designed the graphics and the titles. Stand up. Yes. Award-winning title sequence, mind you. I got a prize at South by Southwest for that. Congratulations. And that was the brief. I think I told her, just whatever psychedelic violence, crime means to you, do a lot of them. And you see the results. So it was the visual spirit and the kind of the visual anarchy that they suggested. For someone, I like to make cinematic documentaries. I like things that are really vibrant and really alive and work as movies more than anything. And just that element of the band's stylization. And you can see some of it expressed in the way fans dress up and express themselves as characters. Just provided a whole visual language to work with, just on that surface alone. And then you strip that off, and you go into the emotional vortex that is Japan and Yoshiki's past, and the pain, and then the redemption. And you've got a real massive amount of material to work with. I've always said that this, to me, is some of my movies I say are like mixtapes. This one, to me, is like a total rock opera.
Well, Yoshiki, kind of following on from that, in terms of the film's so much about struggle, psychic struggle, mental, physical. Were there moments that you felt exposed? Were there moments that you felt that you doubted the process at all?
Well, first of all, several years ago, my agent and I were talking about this documentary film. I said, there's no way I'm going to create a documentary film. It is too painful, too sad. I cannot open that door again. So I said no. Then several years later, people surrounding me were telling me, you need to spread this, you need to tell this story. Then finally, people convinced me, this film can help people. Like somebody, who's been struggling, like mentally, or like have pain, like I have. So this film can give people a courage to move on. So I was like, okay, let's do it then. So once I decided to open the door, I said, fuck that, let's open all the way. So I kind of became naked in front of I'm literally naked too, a little bit. So I just opened the door all the way and gave Stephen entire footage of X-Man's life and everything.
Well, Stephen, you've previously spoken about this film opening a door to you in terms of the culture around the band, the fan relationships, aspects of Japanese culture as well. I wonder what kind of surprised you most in the process, and I guess that goes both ways in terms of Yoshiki, when you saw the film, when you saw yourself reflected through someone else's lens, were there things that you learned that you hadn't expected to?
Well, basically, it's always a hard question, like, what did you learn? I mean, you learn a lot of things along the way. Some of them are things you take away just for your own creative life, that you learn about the artist. I mean, there's a lot, like, I'm very inspired by his creative vision and kind of force, and that
surprised you when you were seeing yourself through Stephen's lens.
Well, first time I saw this, really different version, but I was like, I couldn't say a word. It's like too much. But it happened to my life. But if we didn't reunite the band, if we didn't come back, this could be a horror film, right? But we came back. So, because of, we just didn't come back by ourselves. After we broke up, Stephen kind of like described it beautifully. After we broke up, so then 10 years later we got reunited. During those times, fans supported us. Also, during those 10 years, our music started spreading, which is almost unbelievable. So, I really learned from this film. I always say that, but I realized even more, nothing is impossible. You can overcome anything. So, regarding pain, I don't think pain will disappear for the future, but try to learn how to coexist, how to use this one to make your strength. So, yeah.
Okay, we have time for a few questions from the audience. Please raise your hand. Anyone has one? Okay, there's a couple right in the middle. Don't know who's got the mic.
Loud enough.
Okay, if you say it, I'll repeat it.
Back in '82, how do you actually come up with the name X? Exactly.
So the question was, back in '82, how did you come up with the name X?
So, we didn't know what to name. So I just said, temporarily, why don't we name our band X? Right? Then we kind of started finding out X means infinite possibility, no limitation, something. I was like, that's so cool. Then just, also when we are playing with a lot of bands, like, some festival or some playing club with 4 or 5 bands, we always stand out, X, one word. Then, we moved to Los Angeles, there's a band called X. So we just put Japan next to it. Actually, we used to call X from Japan. It's too long, so just say Japan. So everything just happened like accidentally.
Cool, I think there's a question just next to you. Go on, shout it out and we'll repeat it.
Yeah, go on. The last time you came for the Scout, you promised that you're coming back, right? Say it again. The last time we had the Yoshki at the Royal Festival Hall, you told us that you're coming back. Is it coming back again?
So the last time you were at the Royal Festival Hall, you said you were coming back.
Yeah.
Are you coming back? Is that the question? Okay.
classical, the Yoshiki classical.
Yes, Royal Festival. Yeah, I played my classical concert 2 years ago. Yes, I mean, well, we are supposed to come back this year, March, but one of my members, actually this drama still, kept going. Pata got one of my guitar, our band's guitar players. He got really sick. Actually, he was on the verge of death. He went to ICU for 3 weeks. I couldn't even reach. So, but now he came back 100%. Yes, actually, I'm going to Tokyo tomorrow. Then we're gonna start rehearsing. We have festivals to play. Then we're coming back here March 4th. We're playing arena.
Okay, so with the red hair over there. Go on.
Sorry, rumor has it that you gave him the pink spider name, and I want to know the funny story behind this, please.
Rumour has it that you gave Hide the pink spider name, and she wants to know the funny story behind this.
I don't like spider anyway. I don't like bugs. I don't like ghosts.
You like Hide. Sorry, but since you didn't like Hide that much, I don't believe you. I know you love him. Yeah.
Well, I love Hide, of course, but I just don't like spiders. Hide's nickname?
Yeah.
What's his nickname?
Pink spider. Pink
That's not his nickname. That's a kind of... No. Nobody calls him Pink Spider. But that sounds weird. I mean, I love his song Pink Spider. He wrote a song called Pink Spider. It's an amazing song. I actually played. But just I don't like Pink Spider.
I had a question, Stephen, about Toshi, because watching the film, the whole understanding that we come to about his relationship to the cult that he was involved with is such a surprise. I mean, it's a film full of surprises and full of kind of new elements, but this really, I wonder, I feel almost like you could have expanded this beyond this whole extra film almost.
It's true. We always say that could be its own film in and of itself. It's just one of those editorial decisions you make, because the film can only be so long. And I think the point of view, a lot of the times, we kind of defer to how it impacted or how Yoshiki saw it. I mean, in relation to that, I think he was very open and forthcoming with his experience, and he had just written a book about it, which was only available in Japanese, and we had it translated. And as we were making the film, I learned that you had only just read the book very recently. So when we were interviewing, when you guys were sitting down together in the studio, and they're speaking about it, you were legitimately speaking about it for the first time.
That would be a complete horror film, actually.
Yeah, it was important to include, but it couldn't overshadow everything else. You know what I mean? There's so many elements that had to be balanced. But I think we got just enough in there. But there's a lot more to learn about that. But some of it's still ongoing, and it's pretty sensitive too, right? So, anybody else?
Okay, there's a lady over there.
Yoshki, can you get my flower first?
Actually, when I play Japan, I jump into the audience, something very aggressive. I also play classical concert. Then people bring home flowers. Thank you. Actually, I'm playing in New York Carnegie Hall next January. Yeah, thank you.
And my question is, if you will underwent all these painful things, will you also decide to create X? If you went through these things, will you still create X?
So even though he's gone through lots of painful things.
Yes.
Say it again, sorry.
If Yoshiki-san knew these things before, would she also decide to create the band?
Okay. If you'd have known you'd have gone through all of the pain that you've gone through with this band, would you have still created it in the first place?
One more time, please.
Okay. if you knew then what you know now at the beginning, would you have still started X Japan?
Wow. Yeah, it's impossible to answer. Actually, I was in New York yesterday, then doing several interviews. Then one interviewer asked me, if there's a time machine, you can go back to any era or any time of your life. When do you want to, which time do you want to go back? Then what would you do? Of course, there are so many moments. I would like to go back to, before my father died. Before my father took his life away. Like, maybe day before. Why? Why are you thinking that way? I would like to go back to the day before he passed away. Why? I would like to go back to the day, before Toshi passed away. That's like, I don't know if you start thinking, that's pretty much endless. You know what? People say you cannot change the past. That might be true. But depends on how you move on, depends on how you look at the future, depends on how you act for the future. Your past it's very painful, but your past can shine. So,
We've got time for just a couple more. We're going to raise their hands. Okay, there's one just at the front.
First of all, welcome back to London, Yoshiki-san. I have lived in Britain for almost 13 years, and I just like to ask you, what is the most important thing to live abroad as a Japanese person? And also that goes to you, Mr. Kizek. And how did you see the Japanese spirit, like a Yamato Damashi or something? How did you see that? I'd like to know if it's possible.
You answer first.
I don't know what to answer. I'm just trying to get the clue where anybody will answer the question.
These are really hard questions. I think it's hard to articulate, but I think the way I answer that question is what you see in the film. I try to. What I learned about the Japanese spirit is I learned from this man, and the fortitude and the kind of survival instinct against all odds, the boundless creativity, the sensitivity within the strength. You know what I mean? I think there's just something that I think tried to inform the whole film, and we also kind of played also with a slightly mythological feeling. I think it's very rare in a rock doc to visit these graveyards. I mean, there was something about it that could have been kind of gothic and morbid, but there was also something really kind of peaceful and meditative about it, and those felt like very sacred spaces within the film and even within the world that we were inhabiting. So all those things kind of, goes back to what I learned. I mean, that was a huge part of what I learned about the culture, and I try to translate it more as a feeling that kind of, resonates in the movie. So, now you.
It's a difficult question. I mean, we, because it's film to say we are X, and a lot of people, again, interviewed from around the world. I don't think it's completely Japanese thing. It's like, let's see, American fans are how different from Japanese fans. Japan fans are all the same thing, like it's very passionate, very pure. We just have amazing fans around the world. It doesn't have to be Japanese or, Asian or Caucasian or anything. I think just we have our own word called X. That's why we call we are X.
Good, thank you.
What?
It's the best tea in the whole world.
Eugene Tips is being
Oh my God. How could you know this? Oh my God. Yes. 2011 we played Shepherd Bush Empire, I think. Yeah, I scream about this PG tip. Yeah. Oh my god. Good memory. Thank you.
Okay, and one more just from the front.
Are there any funny stories from backstage? You know, like Ecstasy Summit era? Because it looks amazing.
Are there any funnies from backstage Ecstasy Summit era?
Well, I mean, you know, we can have like spin-off this. We can have horror film, we can have comedy, we can have like, I don't know, a lot of film from this. Yes, I don't know, I can't pick one story, but just, there, you know, every day was, in our life, like every day was...
Then make another movie.
another one.
Why not?
A sequel? Oh, jeez.
Sequel.
There's enough in the archive, and we're being filmed right now, so
Exactly, we are still
you'll be
filming.
in it. Yeah.
Well, because, you know, my mother thought I was not going to live long, so she, when we signed Sony Record, she told Sony Record director, just film everything while Yoshi's alive. So I'm still alive. So films got, you know, have enormous amount of data right now. Yes.
Well, it's an amazing testament to life and also to musical phenomenon. Oh, hang on, go on. That's my wrapping up.
I have one more. You need to come up here for a minute. We have our producer Diane Becker. This person does not get the props that she deserves for pushing this movie uphill, still doing it to deliver it for the U.S. release. She is X. I just want to give a big hand. It's an anniversary for today, so happy anniversary.
Diane, you want to say something?
I just want to say that when Yoshiki says that nothing is impossible, it is a lot to live up to. That has been the most challenging aspect and the most wonderful aspect about making this film. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, mentioning the US release, it's a film that the festival is delighted to be showing for its UK premiere, and we really think it deserves to be shown across cinemas. We think there's going to be an audience who's totally going to come and discover this documentary. So please do use social media and let people know what you think about the film. In the meantime, thank you for being such a wonderful audience, and please join me in thanking Yoshiki, Stephen, and Dan.
Thank you so much.